So this is my Paris Couture debut, and my choice was to have a mixture of my artwork with my couture work. So we're currently setting up and doing all of the kind of mixture, because I like to define myself as a designer who does artwear, and I basically, in my own opinion, really want to achieve the level of fashion architect because I'm interested in that. For example, this piece that my very kind sisters are currently putting on is a sand wave, which I turned into a shape. So it's a sand graph and sand waves, which then I applied to my pattern cutting process, and it became a three-dimensional shape. Then these spirals here are inspired by the Fibonacci sequence, logarithmic spiral, and basically the golden ratio, the mathematics behind the balance of beauty. And I find it fascinating because I come from an Italian background, and of course we have deep-rooted classicism through ancient Rome and so forth, and ancient Greece, and the philosophies behind balance in architecture, for example, through even the ancient Grecian columns and so forth. I'm obsessed with that. I love ancient Grecian and ancient Roman aesthetics, and so I kind of want to subvert them with my unorthodox pattern cutting, and that's how I make these kind of pieces.
Incredible.
So this is basically fully sustainable leather. It's recycled gloves over the COVID period from China, and then they turn into leather, and then they coated it. So it's a really, really circular product, and I'm very proud of it. My sister found it.
Hi, sister.
And then both my sisters are there, the two of them. They're really.
I'm the third sister.
She's a third sister, unofficial.
Oh, okay.
And then
Adopted.
yeah. So if you have any questions, just tell me. I'm here.
Yeah, no, take me through your artwork, too.
I'll take you through my, of course. So most of my artwork tends to be black and white. I don't really think too much in color. It's just never been who I am. And I like to kind of challenge the notion. I think I'm an expressionist, but I don't actually know art terms, to be fully honest with you. What I do know is that I draw instinctively and intuitively, and I basically vomit out my anxieties and my emotions through my artwork, and this helps me be at peace with myself. I'm someone who is actually quite I don't really think when I'm doing it. I'm instinctive. So I actually have no idea why these come out, but they come out. So I think here is probably a representation of my frustration at a given moment. I think here, for example, I just came back, COVID just hit, and I just came back to my hometown after leaving when I was 17, and I did everything I could do to run away. And I finally was able to run away, built my life, and then overnight because of COVID I had to go back to be with my family, and I felt like I lost everything. So then I was doing a series like this, basically a representation of how I am, just kind of falling into myself. And all of my work has a jar, a brocca. A brocca means a jug in Italian, and that's my surname, so I come from a jug. This palm tree represents Dubai, which is where I grew up, the Middle East. So it's like a jug, palm tree, and then that's a kind of like a genderless subject, which I almost tend to see myself as, because I always border between masculine and feminine, and I fall in the center. And that's why those are my subjects. And then the color theme, I think, is just kind of a part of my constant feeling of slight sadness, and honestly constantly a tiny bit depressed all the time, but it's fine, we're humans, it happens. And I think I just process that through my work, and that's what it is. And then the fashion is a reflection of the construction that I can achieve through architecture. So I think that the fashion is a sculptural response to the fine art.
And do you ever think of maybe translating some of the images onto textiles?
Well, I think that I am definitely looking into it. I think it'd be really interesting to apply the artwork to fabrics and create these shapes. My first one that I properly made for my graduate collection last year, Centre St. Martin's graduate collection, that went really well. Lady Gaga wore it. It was really nice. It was like I painted a demon on the gown. And it was a very, very big achievement for me. It was my first big kind of, link with another artist. So I was very proud of that. So I am looking to do it one day. I didn't get to do it this time because I wanted to focus on the architecture and really show what I can do in terms of cutting. And in the future, I'm going to merge them without a doubt. I think it's inevitable and it has to happen.
Great. You present very well.
Sorry?
You present very well.
I try. I have a lot of pent-up emotions leading up to this, so I feel like I'm forced to.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
It's really great.